I'm here with Pop Buchanan from Sober is Dope. He's a good friend of mine. I met him last year. I did an interview on his podcast. It was awesome. We had a good chat. You should check it out. It's Sober is Dope. I'm going to put all his details in the chat box as well, because we're gonna be getting down and having a really nice conversation. He's over in New York, but I'll let him tell you all about himself in a moment. We're gonna have a quick 10-minute get together. Just, you know, it's lockdown with Lizzie. It's live. We all want to have a good time. So happy New Year, Pop. Tell us how it's all been.
Hey, happy New Year, everyone. Look, it's been a blast. I'm so excited. I feel alive. I'm exhilarated for the new year. We call this the year of elevation, and I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled to be alive. We made it so far through the pandemic and stuff, and I'm just have gratitude. It's all about gratitude at this point.
Absolutely. And I do not want to bring up what is happening in the States at the moment, so I'm not going to. See how I
Cool.
brought it up? I'm terrible.
Ah, well, the worst is over.
Yeah.
And it was just an unfortunate situation. What can we do? We prayers up to everyone, and
But it's like a boiling point, isn't it? And that's kind of when we see that outside of ourselves, this kind of boiling, bubbling up of anger, aggression, fear, because that's what anger is, isn't it? At its root cause, it's fear.
right?
Now, I want to get deep real
Yeah,
quick.
let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So you are the creator of this wonderful and amazing brand, Sober is Dope, and I wear your t-shirt regularly. I've got a couple of your t-shirts. I'm going to get some more as well. My dad's got one. My sister's got one. Not that this is about abstinence, or that we kind of do that, but we are abstinence. We're both of us are abstinent. We've come to that conclusion that's good for us. But whatever it is, I want to know, first of all, tell me about the kind of humor that gets you through the day and what kind of therapeutic, spiritual tools you use to survive.
Yeah, definitely. Ever since I found my sobriety, I just had this natural inner jubilance, and me and my girlfriend, we crack up a lot. We kind of feed off of each other, and we watch Martin and different TV shows. And my girl taught me something important, like when you're down, watch reruns of stuff that makes you happy. So we watch reruns of like Martin Lawrence, Family Matters, and all of these things, and that keeps me kind of grounded. And the humor never gets old. When it's real good comedy, it's just like everlast. And that's kind of some of the things that I do. I watch like good stuff to debrief and unwind. Spiritually, some of the things that I do is, I think spiritually I find a connection in my work. I've been doing that. Like I feel like there's a creative side to the spirituality where it keeps me connected. And I also, I meditate, and I read a lot, and I try to practice self-care. It's like lately I've been taking like 3 showers a day, opposed to, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this unnecessary third shower where it's like spa treatment. It's like, all right, guy, come on. You took a shower. The other day I took a shower an hour after I took a shower. I was like, I'm going back in. I just going back in. And I think it's extreme self-care, and so that's what I do.
Yeah, I hear you. So I'm interested. I'm watching Golden Girls for the second
Oh, Golden
time.
Girls is another classic. Yeah, that's a
And The
classic.
Office. I'm on my third
All
round of The
right.
Office.
All
Just
right.
genius. The
Yeah.
writing. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But tell us about your work, because you're a rapper as well. Because I really do. I hear you on the creativity front and
Right.
creation, and it comes through us. Is that your
Right.
experience?
That's right. Yes. Yeah. It's that, as an artist, I think it's something that you're born with. It's innate, and you have to express. I feel like, I just turned 41, right? And, I'm a little bit too old based on popular belief just to be rapping. But for me, I was like, yo, it's creative. And I've been doing it my whole life. So it's part of me. And I think that's another layer to the catharsis, right? And there's some humor there too, right? I don't care. So me and my boys said, let's rap till we 65, right? Seriously, like, let's take it seriously till we like 65, 70, and just do it for the art. And that keeps me grounded. And, you know, that's my thing. Don't give up on your talents. I don't care what it is. Don't give up.
No, I love that. And you raised a really good point about age as well. I mean, so often we think we should have hit it. And if we haven't hit the big time by 25, we're on the decline, aren't we?
Right,
It's like
right.
it's all over for us. But that's not true. I've
That's not
got
true.
an 80-year-old, a 74-year-old, comedians who are writing now, who are getting into it for the first time in the last couple of years, and who are getting out there and performing during this pandemic. And
Right,
it's unreal. It's beautiful. And same with people. It's just, you know, we can, like, I'm 40, I'm a year behind you, and for years it's been like, oh, I'm over it, I won't ever do it. But actually, you know, we've got a good 20, 30
right.
solid working years left, so, you
That's
know,
right.
why not?
Don't give up. That's it. Right. If you do it for the love, there's no time limit. Right.
That's
So
it.
that's it.
That's
That's it.
so so also you were talking about your spirituality, and that
Right,
comes through
right.
your creativity and your practice. You practice meditation.
Right. Yes. Yes. I use meditation as a tool, a resetting tool. I used to be on a daily practice, but now it's like, so what I do now is I have like this go-to ritual where I need to unwind a reset. And I really got good at it where I could like sit down for 30 to 40 minutes and stay in this intensive, and it just resets me. And mindfulness, like mindful prayer and mindful reflection. So like that's what I do mostly now spiritually. I try to stay grounded in mindfulness because that helps with the mental health stuff also. So I'm constantly just reminding myself, I'm constantly just checking in with God. And you know, I'm not perfect, I'm flawed, you know, my thoughts are crazy. So I have to always check in and say, God, I'm sorry, you know, I love you, I didn't really mean that. And you know, it's all of this back and forth dialogue because humans, we're wild. And that keeps me home. And I think that's where the love is. Like, I just can't forget, by the grace of God, I'm here through my sobriety. You know, 8 years ago, God saved my life when I was on the edge. And I just always check in. That's my ultimate lifeline. And it's to God be the glory. It has nothing to do with me. Like, you know, if I'm lost, I say, you know what, I'm lost today, but God got me. He'll bring me right back. I know I'm good. And I keep that in the forefront.
That's good. And I was you know, when you're talking about your trauma, about, you weren't talking about your trauma, but you were talking about how you went through something which was obviously addiction. And you know, addiction doesn't come out of nowhere. It
Right.
might seem like it does, but it doesn't. And there's always some kind of pain behind the story. That's, you know, my experience. So I want to ask you about how trauma has, you can look at the trauma that you've been through as a positive rather than just see, okay, that's bad, that's good. Do you, is my first question.
Right. Yes. All right. So we have post-traumatic stress disorder, right? And then we also have something that's less known as post-traumatic growth. And I think that's what you're talking about. So in the PTG, for me, I use the pain of my addiction and the trauma, the loss of my father, the loss of a relationship, the loss of an old lifestyle through like my business and stuff, and that sadness, I use it all to grow and as a reflection point. So out of the trauma, I'm a better person. And instead of reflecting on it as a negative or something that's bad, I'm like, you know what? I had to go through that. Because when I went through that, I got my girl now. I would have never met her if I didn't go through that trauma, right? And I have all of this new stuff, the podcast, my new life. And it was all a purpose. I think I was on some type of track to do this and to be here. So I'm right in my present moment. So from the pain and trauma is the blessing. And but it took a lot of work, and by the grace of God, I'm here. So that's how I grew
I
out of
love
that.
it. Post-traumatic growth. That is the
Right, right.
first time I've ever heard that. I
It's a
love it.
real thing. It's a real thing.
I love it. I love that because it's reframing. Everything is reframing. I'm writing a
Right.
book. I'm writing a book at the moment.
Oh
And I was
man.
working on a piece today, which is, when I was 13, I got beaten up kind of
Okay.
like really badly, like by a big group of kids. And
Okay.
it was just like crazy. So I wrote it as if I was there, and I was editing it today. I wrote it a year ago
Oh
and I was editing
wow.
it today. And I went into that whole period, and it's a big trauma that I
Right.
haven't properly got you know, download dirty on it. For I haven't properly got angry about it, and I think that's a
Right.
big thing. You know, when you're
Right.
kind of it scared me for a good couple of years, right? That I couldn't, it changed my life. But when I look at every single step of growth that came from that, every life choice that I made after that experience, and my life just took off because of that. I would never have changed schools because it kept coming back into school. I kept getting bullied and kind of like terrorized is the word, not bullied.
Right.
And I had to move schools. If I hadn't moved schools, I wouldn't have met these people that were just gentler souls. And then I was around gentler people, and then I had to become, anyway, I won't go on about it. It's all
No,
about
I
you
love it.
today.
I love it. Nah, well, you is us, right? We're fam. And that's important. And I would say process, you have to really fully process those emotions, go through the pain, that's a serious pain point, especially at that young age. And sometimes through the growth, it still takes a lot of work. So I'm glad you're talking about it. And I'm glad you're putting it in the book. And, that's worthy to speak on because that is traumatic. And I definitely, you might have to get a gym membership and get a punching bag and go in, right? You might just have to really work it out. But whatever it is, just don't hold it in. Because when we hold the trauma in, it gets stored in the body and creates pain and disease and all of this other stuff that we don't want. So let it out. And, if you ever want to go find those people, I'm coming to Canada. We're going to go out there.
Oh, I know who they are. I know who they are. It's not even a thing. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting because it happened, and it was just crazy, and it was just kind of like this it was just kind of really out of this world, over the top, basically.
Yeah.
But on some level, I attracted that to me, right? On a soul level, I attracted that kind of negative attention. I'm not saying that I deserved that or anyone deserves that, but there was something that needed to shift in my experience, and some sort of maybe cockiness on my part that was happening that caused something to happen to that level. I'm not sure, but we always call what we need, even if it seems like it should never ever have happened. And so many things should never ever have happened. But I love this. Who knows if it's good or bad? You remember that old story of the farmer and and the son? I won't go on about it, but who knows if it's good or bad?
Right.
It just is, right? And trauma is an experience of life. It's traumatic to be born. It pretty much goes on being traumatic till we die. We lose people. We don't get what we want. Things go wrong. We have accidents. Everything, right? We can't escape it. We have to use post-traumatic growth, because then at the end of it, we've always got that choice, haven't we? Am I going to go towards my growth? Am I going to say, okay, that was tough, let's go on now? Or am I going to just kind of go, and let it take me down? Am I going to go down with this ship? But it's not always that simple. You go on.
No, I agree. And I think you do. Well, one thing I definitely know spiritually, we have to go through these dark moments to grow, but nothing about that was your fault. I think just that your light was naturally so beautiful and so novel
Oh,
that,
stop it.
no, I'm serious, because knowing you, kids that have these insecurities, and it must have invoked a bunch of stuff in them. And then you did none of that you deserved. And I think by releasing that aspect of it, and totally releasing any part of you being part of that, I think that's where the healing comes. It's okay to be like, these people was hating because my light shines so bright, it blinded them through, it made them ignorant, and I had nothing to do with that. I just was beautiful and great, and I'm still beautiful and great, and no matter what, out of all of that, I'm still shining, and they didn't break me, although they tried, and I'm a winner and I'm a champion. So the onus is on them, and you take all of the victory and you leave them where they are, because I guarantee you, by the grace of God, hopefully they're not miserable, but it is what it is. You're shining and you have a light of the world. So that's where the growth comes in, by you relinquishing any type of blame on yourself. Let it all go. You had nothing to do with it besides being the most brightest star that they ever seen, and they didn't know what to do with it. There we go.
Thank you so much for the therapy. I do actually appreciate that, because it is true. And you did remind me of a truth there, that actually, when something happens like that, it is a child, as a child, and I was a child, you automatically think, well, it's my fault, right? It's
Right.
my fault that that happened. There's something about me that's bad and wrong that caused that to happen. And I think that that stopped me from being kind of mad at them in that, you know, in that moment, or ever afterwards. You know, I didn't know them, right? They were like 3 years older than me. It was just crazy, but I know their names. And I'm almost
Right.
thinking, oh, why
Right.
don't I just write their names in my book?
Right.
Remember that when you're a teenager. I know you're
Yeah.
43 now, but remember that.
Yeah, it's still a level of accountability there. So that's maybe something we look at, right? The, down
Well,
the line, but it is also, and that's it in itself. That accountability, you said it. That their names, they're there, and that belongs to God now, right? They have to still reconcile that, right? God is still gonna say, hey, 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 not so fast. We still gotta talk about that thing when you was 14, because that wasn't cool.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put their names in the books because this book is actually about Hilarapy and what we do and how we
Oh
can
yeah,
use.
yeah. I didn't mean the book.
No,
I just
I
meant
know
the,
you're not.
yeah.
I
Oh
just want
hell no.
people out there to know.
Yeah,
I just
hell
want you
no.
out there to know, listeners,
Yeah.
that I'm not going to start kind
Nah.
of
They
being
ain't getting
being.
those. They ain't
We don't
getting
want
those
all my
side.
fans to turn up at
Nah.
their house, do we?
Yeah, exactly, right? There we go. Exactly.
I turn
Oh
into
man.
Trump.
I know, right? It'll be that's right. It'll be wild. But anyway, hey, look, it's all love, and that's what it is. Look, we smiling, we found humor in the whole thing. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. And you know what? I have never written comedy about it, but I will. And actually
Right.
that's just almost come into my consciousness that that subject, because when I was editing this morning, it's about 2,000 words because it's like a written in a memory, like as I bring you there into the memory with me. I got halfway through, and one of my best friends, Maddie, she was there that night. She's 13 at the time. She's 40. She's 18 days younger than me. I had to quickly send her a message and go, oh God, that was a bit much. I had to stop halfway through because I was just about to get to the point where I got my first punch and then it all came in, right?
Right,
And
right.
and I didn't, and I'm just thinking, you know what? To get to a point where I've spent so much time with it that I've created a comedy set that you can then talk about violence against a child, children against children, whatever, bullying, whatever, you know, you can talk about that with the seriousness that it deserves, but also with the humor that I have come to a place of resolution as I tell this story. That's just come to me, and that's what we do at Hilarapy.
Right,
So
right. I
thank you.
love that.
You are just such a lovely, lovely man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
I
can't wait
appreciate
till
it.
the borders open and I can come and visit you in New York. Say, I
That's right.
love New York, and you can be
Yeah.
my personal guide.
Right, right. That's right.
And saying you're welcome up here as well. I'd love to sort things out. So we better kind of wrap this up now.
Right.
I just love spending time with you. I love Sober is Dope. We've got in the chat box, you're going to find the links to your YouTube channel, your podcasts, your shop with Sober is Dope merchandise. Please support Pop Buchanan and your music as well. You've got all that going on as well.
Right,
And
right,
all the
right.
links are in there. Support him and support us to just have a good time and spread our love and our creativity. Thank you so
Thank
much. I
you. Thank
appreciate
you.
this.
It was my pleasure. Thank you. Love you. Love you. God bless.